All right, welcome to Triage on Tuesday, March 5th. And let's kick it off. We have one from, I guess this should not be in Triage, should it? Put that in the backlog. Add friendly output tab service load. Terraform, so let's see. Not sure Matt, are you familiar with this issue at all? No, core plans or supervisor side?
I am not. You did say my name, right?
I did.
No, I'm not familiar with it at all. I'm happy to become familiar with it, but
yeah, I was trying to read the ticket here to understand. Output is so hard to read. I can put this on the backlog. I feel like this might need some discussion.
Yeah, I think from an implementation standpoint, it needs discussion, but reading through this, it seems like a really good feature to have. Just based off my somewhat limited experience running services, when things don't load, it's really hard to figure out what went wrong, and adding additional context to the process would be, to the logs would be great.
Ability to skip artifact creation during iteration on Studio. So Studio-based development would be dramatically faster if there were an option to skip the artifact creation state, collecting, tarring, and compressing files. It could be very slow.
I think it's probably a really good feature. I doubt that we would have community member contribute it, but having the option to skip that, I do think makes sense, especially for people that are working in interpreted languages.
Let's see. So this is supervisor? Studio.
It'd be Studio, yeah.
Were you suggesting asking for help on this one?
I don't see a community member contributing that code, but yeah, I would think it'd be something that we would do.
Dave, I think you might be missing core plans in the triage.
Oh, I can.
Just one that we should go over real quick on.
There you go. Now my order's all wrong. Let's see. Is this the one you wanted to look at?
Yeah.
So
yes, this is a really. I did some reading on this one, and this came up as part of the base plans refresh as well. But I need to like put a lot of content into the response to this. But essentially, I don't think we can support this in core, simply due to conflicting libraries between GCC 7 and GCC 8, and there's no way for us to ensure that the right libraries are loaded at runtime if GCC 7 libs and 8 were to end up in the load path at the same time.
Okay.
The way like Fedora and Arch Linux handle this is by having those, like Arch Linux has GCC 7 in its community repo. I don't know what they call them, but Fedora, I believe, does something similar, where the main core of the distro does not contain multiple GCCs. Any supported GCCs live in a separate repository.
Okay. Oh, so what do we do if we are not gonna?
So I'll put a lot of context in this one and close it out.
Okay. I'll sign you just for if there's any questions. Have feet ignore local is not document or documented. Any objection to putting this to the backlog?
Yeah, I think we have a bunch of environment variables that, and a few things that were like really focused around development. We have some features that like we've just hidden, and that's probably one of them. It's not an operation that I would like us to continue doing, because if the feature is useful to us and we put it in there, then chances are somebody could get use out of it. So my is, yeah, it should be documented. No secret API.
No, already did that one. Regression around environment variable propagation across packages. Mac OS Docker Studio experiences the set build time environment function isn't working. What is that? We'll put that in the backlog.
Yep. Yeah, it could be a bug. We might need some more info there, but I trust Blake. He usually knows what he's doing. He's been using Habitat a long time.
Close is not the button I want to push. All right. Have package build from within Hab Studio fails with confusing error, file name too long.
I don't know if this is exactly what I ran into last year, but if you do a studio within a studio, you're setting yourself up for an unpleasant time, which is essentially what running Hab package build rather than build inside the studio is going to give you. I believe that's correct, right, Ian?
Just running build. Oh, but okay.
Yeah. And so build invokes the plan build directly, whereas Hab package build is going to generate a new studio and run build inside that. And when you're already in the studio, I can't remember exactly what goes on, but it's not pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially weird if you're running a Docker container studio, but even a chroot inside a chroot, you could have unforeseen kind of behaviors from that. So,
would it be better to have like a thing that could give you a better error, like, or just support the running Hab package build inside of Studio?
I wonder if there's a UX thing we could do there where it will tell you it looks like you're already in the studio.
Yeah, we definitely could. We could clean that experience up for sure.
Or they're suggesting just alias or proxy that to build dot.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's also an option. I don't see a case where like it makes sense for people to nest studios, so aliasing is also an option.
Personally, I would lean more towards just telling them that they shouldn't do that instead of aliasing, because then I think that kind of like hides what's happening, if that makes sense, from the user, and that can get confusing later. But
Yeah, we can. Here, I'll mark it for discussion, and we can talk about it. For UX. These pros and cons either. I think if we do alias it or proxy it, we'd have to give output to like inform the user that, hey, you type this command in, and we're going to run this one instead, so that it's not, so it's clear what we're doing.
Yeah, we could do both things. Though the problem with that, I think, in this specific issue is that like you're going to have a shitload of build output immediately after you run that command, so that would just get lost.
Yeah, you'd have to have a sleep or something in there so it pauses before kicking it off, which also feels kind of.
we could also just ask them to confirm. Like if they run the command, tell them what we're running instead, and then give them a yes or no.
Yeah, we can talk more about this. I think we can see. We should probably figure out what the right UX is there for our users, so you get a happy experience there. Let's see, that is the release. This is already out, correct, Ian?
Yeah, the release is out. The only thing left to do is I was having trouble getting the Builder Bootstrap bundle to work. It's the only piece left.
I can work with you on that, Ian.
Okay.
Did it last week, and yeah.
Cool.
Hab service load Haynes. Okay, random issue here. We're at 7.6. It's pegging their CPU at 100%. Let's see. Has anyone talked to Stephen or Jay about this issue?
Yeah, it came up in the channel, and I think that it is a definite issue, but I don't know that we have any idea of what's calling it, or if it's like specific to various packages or whatever. I mean, I think it's worth an investigation from the supervisor perspective.
Okay. Hab service load does not honor Hab non-interactive or Hab no coloring.
Yeah. I know that other people in the community have mentioned running into issues with this. And like, I also know that coloring code is kind of a nightmare because I think we've tried to get it multiple times to a place where it's possible to disable. And I'm not really sure the state of it right now, but it's very possible that it's not respected.
Interesting. So is a no color flag a thing we support right now, or is that not?
It's just specific to the context, I think. The context in which the command gets run.
Interesting. Oops. I'll put that in the backlog, I think. I don't know if it's a bug. It seems more like a feature request. Unless we advertise?
Well, I mean, we already have the environment variables there, and
Okay.
and the expectation from the users is that like that would propagate to all habitat output. But I think the problem is it doesn't, right? But yeah.
Investigate safe usage of LD library paths and plans. Feels like it should be in backlog.
Yeah, they should be in the backlog.
All right. Triage is done. Open issues. Now we're going to go to pull requests. So this is in Habitat. Strip less by default.
I think a number of us have weighed in on this, and we're waiting for.
I haven't had a chance yet to put my thoughts on this one. But while we're here, I think for now we can't accept that particular one because it's going to affect all of core plans, and we want to make sure we do that kind of around the same time that we're building everything. But what we can do is in have sup and have launcher, change the do strip functions there so that hopefully Stephen will be able to get the debug input we need. Does that seem reasonable? I don't know.
Yeah, this is Stephen. Yeah, we figured that'd be the case. I think we'll probably do a PR for the other bit of stripping unless someone gets it to us earlier. We just wanted to get this one out there too as like a stake in the ground, because it probably good in the long run, but definitely we can't do this until a refresh anyways. So
yep.
We'll probably put another PR out soon. But that'd be hopefully with that level of stripping, we can at least get back traces working, both like at the Rust level and GDB, which would be helpful for sort of some of those other issues that were just triaged.
Yep. I was doing some debugging and ended up having to rebuild a few libraries as well. Unrelated to this issue, I was working on another one, and having the symbol names in there is incredibly helpful in the debugging.
Should we just leave the PR open? Scott, do you want to add your comment to that? So
yep.
Okay. Core plans. Term color is in flight, and update cargo lock. This is in core. Is there any reason why anything holding this up?
I'm not sure if this is still valid because this was the last bits for the 7.6 release that was obviously bugged. So I don't know that I don't even know that this needs to go out now. I assume this stuff was done with 7.7 or so we might be able to just close it.
Update cargo lock.
Yeah, I think we decided that we were going to just, since the releases came pretty much back to back, we were just going to continue to use the 7.6 cargo lock update.
Yeah, we didn't end up updating cargo lock because it was just the day after.
Okay, well that said, then I guess we can merge it.
We'll merge away. Do I get to merge? All right, I merged. How do computers work? All right, that's home. Nothing there, and lots of do not merge tags. So I don't think we have anything there. Anything else we should go over? All right, thank you, everybody. That concludes our triage for this week. See y'all next week.